Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going through the best and worst tattoo TikToks I could find. Let's jump into it. This one made me laugh, made me smile. I want to hear it. Let's do it.
What do you think is the most overrated tattoo style?
The spider web. So overdone in Australia. Guys, do not get spider web.
I don't f with that, like American, like traditional. Yeah, I'm not really f with that.
Traditional, to be honest. I think it's great, but there are a lot of other styles as well.
A lot of people f up American traditional. It's like you're going to a flash day and shows everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of these people don't like American traditional. Now, am I surprised by that? No. At this point, over the last, 20 years, it's probably been the most consistent style out there, especially in places like Australia, I'm sure. Places like America, I'm sure traditional is pretty much dominant, at least as far as consistency goes. Even Europe, I'm sure. But I don't really know. Like, I just see American traditional being way more popular and way more consistently popular than Japanese, for instance, or neo-trad, or color portrait-y stuff. I would say the most popular style of tattoo in America is black and gray realism, probably. And then second would probably be American traditional. And then you got every other weird little style, right? You have patchwork type of things. You got neo-traditional, you got Japanese, you got Chicano style, all those are just less popular. So it does not surprise me that a lot of people don't like American traditional. It makes sense. I get it. I also think that judging these people, which I'm going to do because that's what we do here, the way that these people are dressing, the way they look, style-wise, they probably don't fall into traditional style world very often. I'm gonna do some very basic judging of what I would imagine these people would be into as far as tattoos go. These three ladies, obviously fine line. That's their style. This dude, obviously black and gray. Although it's funny because he does have this very, what looks like traditional looking sleeve of barbed wire on his arm, but that's just tattoo-y stuff. He just asked for barbed wire and to me, I go, oh yeah, that looks like a traditional barbed wire. That's just the default way to tattoo barbed wire. So it's not really traditional, but I'm it's not far off. This girl, I would say cyber sigilism. And her response kind of gives that to me too. She's like, traditional is great, but there's lots of different styles. She strikes me as the girl who dated guys with traditional tattoos and is like, oh my God, I'm so over these dorks. And then this guy looks like he's probably, if he's not into traditional, which he's into black and gray. He's like, make that look realistic as possible. I want to see the sweat coming off of Michael Jordan's face. Give me a portrait. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from him. He looks like Shine's dorky cousin. On to the next. Speaking of guessing what a person's into, you don't have to guess very hard because this girl's got cyber sigilism all over her hand and all over her body. This took me, not joking, at least 2 times to go through this reel to really understand what I was looking at. Do you guys get it? Do you see it? It's right here. Do you know what it's supposed to look like? It's supposed to look like blood drops coming from cuts on this guy's arm. Now, your eyes had to do some gymnastics to figure that one out. Mental gymnastics. Your eyes were like, beep, 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 beep. Don't understand. Don't get this one. It took me a long time. I'm kind of joking because obviously that's what we do on this channel, goof on people and goof on tattoos for the most part. But this one, I was literally being like, what am I looking at? They call this stuff unique and I just call it a mistake. These tattoos look like they're down on their luck. Just bad looking tattoos. And they're convincing people to be unique in this way that I'm like, yeah, that's not. It's no. On to the next. Okay, this one I like. This one I actually really enjoyed looking at. I think that it's a solid tattoo. The color's in really well. There might be parts that aren't outlined, but I'm not gonna take too big of offense of it because I don't think that takes away from the tattoo too much in this instance, where usually if people don't leave in outlines and things fade, the whole tattoo goes away. This one, I'm like, if things fade and parts of those outlines on there, it doesn't really do anything other than nothing. So it's a very nice looking tattoo. It's interesting. It goes to show you what the power of like strong wall-to-wall saturated color can do for a tattoo and an arm, because like there's no way that guy walks around and you don't notice those two little birdies. It's also probably taking away from everything else on the tattoo. Oh my God, he has some tattoos that I hate. I just saw a paintbrush that goes around in a circle. I hate that. God, I hate that. But the red tattoos look nice. The birds look great. These ones are done by Kelvin Goss or Kelvin Loss. Very beautiful tattoos. Kelvin Goss. On to the next.
People are always asking about the meaning of tattoos, so I thought it would be interesting to get one that addressed this in an unexpected way. My tattoo's meaning is that it's utilitarian. I really do use it, be it for measuring artwork, tools, or screws. But it also does have other meanings. It lets people know that I work with my hands and build things. It's also in centimeters and inches because I use both. I was born in the US, live in Hong Kong, and work across Asia. I also have a thing for industrial design, if you can't tell from the gallery. And there is something more physical and philosophical kind of happening too. My body is not rigid. My arm bends, and with that bend, the measurements change. It makes me think about the necessary restrictions required to measure something. And
okay, I don't hate this tattoo. Surprisingly, I don't. The real probably, yeah, I hate that a little bit. Like, I often hate when people oversell you on ideas that are just kind of like not that. So the real I don't like. The tattoo is fine. And the tattoo, honestly, is extremely well done. Like, just look at some of this and tell me that those lines aren't very straight and those numbers aren't like almost perfect in some points. I think we could have done without the red, but that doesn't matter too much. Those lines are great. The tattoo is great. I think art, when sold to me, makes me dislike it. I don't want to have to be told how something is beautiful and artistic. I just want to be able to look at it. I looked at this and he was like, hey, yeah, I measure stuff. I'd be like, yeah, I like that. I would like to say I'm a no-nonsense guy, but I'm really just like mentally slower than other people. You don't need to sell me on other stuff. Like, I'm cool with just the basics, dude. Don't hit me with all this metaphorical description of what a tattoo means because of the physical space of the blah, 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 blah. Nice tattoo. On to the next.
Reaper Rivera here claims that all of the tattoo community thinks that violence towards and sabotaging an Asian-owned tattoo parlor is hilarious. Oh, trying to pass that off as an eagle.
Okay, so let me set the stage for this one. Set the stage. Over the past few weeks, there was an Asian-owned tattoo shop that got vandalized because someone threw a bottle at their doorway. Now, the person who threw that bottle ended up being a tattooer and a white tattooer, and it was an Asian-owned tattoo shop, so people are calling it. I don't know. I'm actually not here to discuss that really too much. I just don't condone any violence towards any shop. I also think like it was really petty and weird. Like, it wasn't an act of much more than like bad littering to me. Throwing a bottle at a doorway that explodes isn't really like anything more than just throwing trash on the floor to me. Now, having said that, in tattooing, I'm grateful that we have gone away from the days of true violence, a little bit more so, where people would have lit that bottle on fire and then thrown it into a shop and firebombed it. I'm glad all we have now is people littering. People want to call it, that's up to them to decide. What I do find funny is the responses and the reactions to this occurrence because, yeah, it's funny. Let's listen. This guy has been reporting on it, whatever TikTok reporting and really just making content and getting views about it is, and he makes fun of a bunch of tattooers. I thought it was fun. Let's listen.
Reaper Rivera here claims that all of the tattoo community thinks that violence towards and sabotaging an Asian-owned tattoo parlor is hilarious. Oh, trying to pass that off as an eagle is actually hilarious. All is happening up there. In fact, this guy, Mike T, thought that it was so hilarious that he even made a video about it.
We are under continuous
And before anyone's like, Ed, that's just a video. Yeah, maybe. If Mike T here in purple wasn't friends with the human Labubu himself, Emmett Jace, who was in red, I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh and Mike is hilarious. He is. His artwork is, because he can't even draw straight lines. And
Okay, so I actually went through all of these people's tattoos, and I definitely think that he obviously went through and he picked the worst ones that they did. Most of these tattooers did pretty good tattooers. I don't condone any violence in tattooing. I actually think it's kind of lame to make comments like make tattooing scary again, because the reality is you guys didn't live when tattooing was that scary for the most part. So it's like, you probably wouldn't hack it anyways when it was really tough. You know, in some ways, I know Australia still has bikie gangs that are fucking tough dudes, but still, like, come on, what are we talking about? When tattooers act tough, I always go like, you're not. If you were tough, you would have done something tough. You wouldn't have drawn on people. But either way, let's keep continuing because I think it is hilarious the way he makes fun of everyone's tattoos that made comments against him.
yeah, that tracks. Andy Tats here couldn't even drum up the words. Okay, wait, you guys ready? Make sure you don't have any liquid in your mouth because what's that? Here's another commenter, Benny Bones' artwork. Do you see this circle?
I hate fake laughs on the internet too, being honest. Yeah. I do. It's crazy, and I get like that this guy has nothing to do with tattooing. He has no interest in tattooing. It's crazy to look at that and be like, that's not a good tattoo. That's insane. You can't look at that. Anyone with eyes can't be like, oh, hey, maybe I don't understand the art of it, but like those lines are really clean. The color's saturated. Like what part of that is not clean and good tattoo? But that goes to show you what an eye for non-tattoos really looks like, you know?
These are the ones that are mad, claiming that Carrot Tattoo Studios doesn't do apprenticeships when their artwork looks like this basic ass shit, where apparently even though they had an apprenticeship, they didn't know how to apply a correct pressure.
Also a nice tattoo.
So that it doesn't get inflamed like that. And when you compare that to the quality of Carrot Tattoo Studios artwork, it becomes very...
What's really the most interesting to me is that this guy goes through and he talks crap on all these different tattooers and the way that they're tattooing, which happens to be American traditional, it's the way it goes. And then he shows you a screenshot of Carrot Tattoo, the people who got the wine bottle thrown at them. And he says, look at the quality of the tattoos that are happening here at Carrot Tattoo. And it's all like this micro realism, color realism stuff that we all know as tattoo getting people don't usually look good over time. And he completely ignores the fact that this Carrot Tattoo, the shop that got the wine thrown onto their doorway, has tons and tons and tons of American traditional tattoos that are on par as the tattoos he just showed. Like I was like looking at Carrot Tattoo and I was like, they do like traditional stuff, like a lot of it, a fair amount of it, on par with everything he just talked crap about. So it really just goes to show you what like a non-educated tattoo eye is seeing. He later claims that he was like art studio guy, but that means nothing. Truthfully, from all this, what I think is the funniest is watching a non-tattooed person talk crap about tattooers. And there is like this other part of it that is just awful and dumb and lame, which is like people harassing other people. Just lame. Not into that. Don't even get twisted in this that I think people should be harassing other tattoo shops ever. I've had people harass me for opening up tattoo shops. It's lame, okay? Breaking windows, calling the health department, I've had all of it. It's lame. Threatening me, lame. I've had it.
If anything, like is there like any way like I can keep this as well? Just like kind of overlap or underlap?
Yeah, we could just like cut off like right here.
Yeah.
Cut it off and then we can keep that.
Okay, cool.
Today we got a black squiggle sleeve. My client didn't know if he wanted it. He's been looking for an artist lately to put the stencil on, see what it looks like. Told him to come through, set up a consultation. Put the stencil on, I freehanded the rest. This is what it came out looking like. I made sure to preserve that tattoo on the forearm that we were talking about in the beginning. If you guys want big pieces like this, go ahead, text 904-748-9502.
Now, I have nothing to say about this tattoo, except for this young tattooer is hustling, okay? And that's how most young tattooers should be hustling. You know, like they're putting on a stencil, on a person who doesn't even know if they want to get tattooed. And just immediately after, this Tats by Dom puts their phone number on a reel. Now, very bold choice. I think that's super cool. Good for you. Getting out there, hustling. I think that's how young tattooers should be. That's like the level of hustle required to become a good tattooer. I also think that like you grow up in tattooing, you learn that things like that at a certain point start holding you back. This is my personal opinion about this. Putting out your number and answering a million messages from a million jabronis who are never gonna get tattooed by you is not the move. Putting stencils on people who don't deserve your time, not the move, okay? Putting on stencils seems like it's a small thing, but it is a small thing. Yeah, what do I even know? What am I even talking about? But for me, you want me to put on a stencil? Hell no, dude. I haven't put on a stencil on someone who wasn't sure if they were gonna get tattooed in at least 13 years, okay? I don't want you to have my phone number. I think that hustle is great for a young tattooer. I'm sure this tattooer is gonna go through every phase that every tattooer has ever gone through, where they're hustling, doing whatever they can to get clientele, and then eventually they're like, ooh, I put myself out there too much. I did too much for too many people, and now I gotta reel it back in, okay? Now, again, I approve of this young hustler. Young hustler. It sounds like I'm like switching into my hood talk because occasionally I do. No, not really. But yeah, you should do this to a point, and then when you feel exhausted dealing with customers like this, reel it back. Stop putting your phone number on a TikTok. But gotta do what you gotta do. On to the next.
I quit tattooing. It was kind of inevitable at this point. I honestly feel so relieved. I stopped reading the comments on that video a while ago. The ones I have seen, I will probably make like a little video just addressing some of the stuff, just because I just find it all kind of funny, to be honest. There's always going to be like contradicting ideas and opinions and whatever in any industry or on anything, any topic, and so it's just really funny to like read all these comments, and everybody is so like pulling me in 100 different directions, and I've already gone in 100 different directions trying to figure it out, and I'm just realizing that like I need some time. I realized that I've like never really taken a break. Like I went from one hustle industry working in a midnight ballerina club to jumping straight into
Okay, that's it. I'm gonna leave it there. This girl put out a TikTok that was something along the lines of like, hey, I'm not making any money as a tattooer. I don't know if this job is for me, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure she got harassed for it. What I'm here to say is that like every single tattooer I know, probably multiple times in their career, have had moments where they're like, I do not know if I could continue tattooing. That has happened to every single tattooer I know. So the fact that like someone young is having that happen isn't like an open invitation to harass her. What is an open invitation to harass her is when she vocalizes it and put it on TikTok. I will give you guys that. Once you do that, free game, right? But I just want to make it clear that like if you're a young tatter, it's very okay to be like, I don't know if I want to continue tattooing. It is a very difficult career for reasons that most people won't understand unless they do it, but it is. And I'm like, yeah, obviously, yeah. Every single tattooer I know. I'm super stoked when people make fun of tattooers. I got no problem with it. I do it like 90% of the time. Like, hey dude, relax. You're not that special. You're not Michelangelo. Tattoo that crappy looking skull. You gotta make rent that month. You know, like, hey, make fun of them. It's fine. But there is this part of me that is like, yeah, no. Every single tattooer I know, with the exception of nobody, has thought about quitting tattooing several times. You know when someone's like, oh, tattoos, they don't hurt. And we all go, shut up, you dumbass. Like no one believes you. That's kind of how I feel when a tattooer is like, I've always loved it. No matter what, I'm tattooing till I die. I go, shut up, you dork. No one believes you, okay? In your deep, dark, sad moments, there was a time where you were like, maybe I should become a gardener. But yeah, that's all I got for that one. On to the next. Look at this beauty. Alina Vives the Alina. Amazing, beautiful tattooing. obviously this isn't tattooing, but I'm sure it's gonna make a great tattoo. Beautiful painting is what I meant to say. Yeah, just beautiful, chill. Let's watch it for a moment. It goes without saying that this person is inspired by Valerie Vargas. Valerie Vargas is one of the greatest tattooers to exist. She's probably top 20 tatters alive and probably top 100 to ever exist, right? She's amazing, she's great. It's who you should be inspired by. There's no doubt in my mind that this person is inspired by them. I just love seeing that. I also like seeing that it's not like a direct copy too much. It's inspiration, taken by inspiration's sake. And I like watching someone take someone else's style and maneuver and play with it and make it their own and make it different. And in some ways change it enough that like, it's just different. It's fun to look at. Beautiful artwork. Alina vibes. You're gonna be amazing if you're not already. Let me look at their paintings are amazing. Let's see the tattoos. Yeah, the tattoos are even better. Yeah, you're great, amazing. Are you British? No, you're French? Super cool. Paintings are amazing, tattoos are just as amazing. Definitely inspired by Valerie Vargas, and that's a good thing because she's great. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. On to the next.
Why does every tattoo artist seem to do this? Owning a business is definitely not what it's cracked up to be. I'm Alex Lloyd, I'm a tattoo artist. I've been tattooing 8 years back in London, now I'm out in Miami and New York. And I'm super, super grateful to have such a successful business running back in London, you know, and a lot of that has just been down to hard work and determination and consistency, not only in the business and developing the business, but also...
I hate when people tell me that their success is from hard work and determination. I do. It had nothing to do with tattooing, but I'm always like, obviously, that part is assumed. I hate it. What was actually, Tell me what actually made you successful. Like, what's the thing that you did that was different than everyone else? Because like so many people work hard and they are not that successful. So just drives me crazy. It's on my mind right now. I had a discussion about that yesterday. I'll leave it there. That's it. Keep this rolling.
Just developing my craft, It seems to be that a lot of artists believe that the pinnacle of their career will be to open a tattoo studio. And for years that was me. But I've come to realise over the years that just isn't the case. And we're seeing more and more nowadays artists who've been tattooing a year, 2 years.
Okay, what we're hearing him say very slowly and very boringly is that a lot of people are becoming tattoo shop owners, and to a lot of young tatters, the idea of owning a shop is like the end-all be-all. I think that's a complete joke and a complete scam, and you probably shouldn't fall into that unless that's you. There's some people I know who own tattoo shops who should always own tattoo shops. One of my close friends, he owns American Tattoo in Vista. His name's Sam Phillips. To me, when I talk to him and when I speak to him and I discuss things with him, I'm always like, you were born to be an owner. Like, it is part of his greatness in tattooing, where most people don't really think the same way he does, and I hope that I do in some ways. But most tattooers I meet should probably just be amazing artists for a long time. And a lot of them, when I watch them open shops, I'm like, that's not you. Like, you're not meant to manage people. You're not meant to place orders on Mondays and do paperwork on Tuesdays. Like, that's just not you. You're an artist. Go make more art. Just be in the tattoo shop. Don't own the tattoo shop. And I think a lot of times a great artist can make more money than the owner if they do things properly, if they do things right, if they carry their weight well. I think a lot of people want to be tattoo shop owners because they think they're going to make a lot of money. Like, hey, just so you know, probably not going to be you. There's a handful of tattoo shop owners I know who make a fair amount of money, and then there's a lot that don't. I'm trying to think off the top of my head how many people I know who have failed at owning a tattoo shop and then went and was just back to a regular tattooer. I know of at least 10 off the top of my head, and like, I say failed because they closed the doors of their shop. That's a failure. That just is. If a shop is meant to be open and it's not anymore, it's a failure. Then I know people who have continued to just keep opening up their own shops and they should have just stopped. That happens a lot too. Yeah, I don't think for young tattooers that shouldn't be your end all be all. unless, for me, I think being an owner is a great option. I think that I am a good artist, but I'm not an amazing artist. I will never break the ceiling that I think I would need to do in order to be financially and happy as a tattoo artist the rest of my life. I love tattooing, I love drawing, but I don't have that part of me that is like, everything is art and that's not me. That's not me. I do better speaking on camera, running businesses, and tattooing. That's like who I am as a person. That fits in with my character better than like a lot of the people I know who are amazing artists and they don't have any of that business side at all. But yeah, I just see a lot of young tattooers who I'm like, you're not, I wouldn't want you as my boss even when I was 20 years old. But on to the next. I heard the owner here is super cool and cute. You're the owner. I know. I actually saw these two back to back. Some guy being like, being a tattoo shop owner might not be best for you. And then I saw this one and I was like, I'm gonna assume that she's young because she looks young. And I'm not gonna assume that she's old because she don't look old. As a tattoo artist who has been a tattoo artist for the last 12 years, if you would have made me a shop owner when I was 2, 3, 4, 5 years into tattooing, I would have sucked more at tattooing and sucked even worse as a shop owner. I don't know this person. She obviously looks very young. She might be great at tattooing and owning a shop. I think it's unlikely. But not impossible, because I don't know her. She might be the greatest of all time. It sounds unlikely to me that you could learn how to tattoo and learn to own a shop at the same time very well, you know? It's not gonna happen very often. So if you're a young tattooer, probably just put that on the back burner. You don't need to think about it. I didn't think about it until it was thrust onto me and then I was like, crap, now I have to own a shop. Yeah, and the learning curve was hard. So yeah, on to the next.
Can I be too woke for a second? So with Halloween approaching, I've seen a lot of like tattoo flash for Halloween that has like, for example, Pogo the Clown. I think that's fucking weird if you want that tattooed on you. Like any real life serial killer, child molester is fucking weird.
I could not agree more. Now, I don't think that that's a woke ass statement at all, especially if I'm having it. I'm not exactly woke in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, you're creepy, dude. I hate that stuff. You get like a creepy, weird guy tattooed on you, I think you're a pervert. That's my assumption about you as a person. I'm gonna keep my kids away from you. And if no one's watching, I'll punch you in the face. If I know I'm not gonna get in trouble for it, punching you in the face. No, not really. But like, hey, that's creepy, you know? I'm like, something don't sit well with me. And I'm pretty good at reading people. Like I can read you right now. And you're thinking to yourself, hey, if I meet a guy with a dirty, gross serial killer on their arm, I'm not gonna like them either. And see how smart I am? That's how well I am at reading people. Because we all have this feeling that if someone is creepy, they do creepy things like get creepy tattoos on them, okay? That's not woke, it's just common sense. On to the next.
So normally I do free touch-ups, but there is a bit of a caveat to that. At one point, when I was still pretty fresh to tattooing, I tattooed a woman. She got a tattoo on her forearm, it was her full forearm. She really enjoyed it. She came back about a month later, she said, hey, I think you really messed up my tattoo, something's wrong with it. So I took a look at it, and like all these large circular chunks were missing, like almost perfectly or circular, which was very, very odd. To me, that implied that it was a bacterial issue rather than a application issue, right? So I told her that. I said, hey, it looks a little bit like maybe like a bacterial infection. Did you do anything strange? She's like, no, I didn't. Well, I did do one thing. I cleaned my fish tank. Do you think that did it? So that's when I came to the determination that not every touch-up should be free.
Okay, so if you guys know me, you probably know what I'm gonna say. I absolutely hate when tattooers play doctor. And they're like, judging by my calculations, that's a bacterial infection. Like, dude, you don't know crap about crap, okay? You're not a doctor. You're barely a tattooer, okay? You're not a doctor. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't want to do your touch-ups? Don't do your touch-ups. Do I think you're whack for that? Sure. Do you know that what the scenario is that this person actually got a bacterial reaction. Dude, we're tattooers. We spend our time in tattoo shops. You didn't go to Dr. Skill, okay? You're a dork. You know, I don't dislike this person. I don't actually care. But what I do care about is when tattooers feel the need to play a role that they're not supposed to play. We are not doctors. We can take educated guesses, but to determine whether or not you're going to do a touch-up based off of your professional opinion about bacterial reactions and infections is stupid to me. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's totally fine to make like an educated guess and do some stuff like that because that's what we're doing. We're tattooers. We're trying to get better all the time. But whenever we start going into that direction where we're too doctory, I'm like, no, that's dumb. Just do the touch-up. And judging by the way that person tattoos, it's very similar to the way I tattoo, which can be very heavy in color. I know for a fact that when people tattoo like that, a lot of times there's holidays in their work because they're going too hard, and it looks like they're going too hard. As a tattooer, I almost always assume it's my fault because I'm applying something that is extremely difficult. I understand how difficult the thing I'm doing is. So when there's problems, I don't instantly blame it on the client. I think that's really lame and whack and boring and just like not true. I think more often than not, clients do the best they can to take care of their tattoo. And it's more likely that there's just like a small mistake that I made on the application side that is affecting the healing of the tattooing. And I think that clients, when you're like, is there anything weird you did during the healing process? They're always going to have an answer because clients are far more likely to blame themselves and the healing process than they are to blame you. You know why? Because they trust you. They came to you and they trusted you, and so they're not gonna break that idea and they instantly start blaming themselves for little things that they did. They could have cleaned that aquarium 3 weeks after the tattoo and they're like, do you think it affected the healing process? And you're like, no, I don't. But clients do blame themselves a lot. So if you give them an opportunity to, they'll take it. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of corny. Do the damn touch-up, do your job, and on to the next. Let's black out some gums. There's some rap music going on. It sounds good, I liked it. I was dancing before I went back and had to take out the music. Very cool, very weird. Do I like it? Surprisingly, yes. Do I think it's gonna last? No. As a tattooer, I would never do this. I would never do this. I would never tattoo someone's gums. The reason being is I would be afraid of damaging teeth. I don't know that that's likely. I don't know that it's even possible, but that would be my first. I would just be like, I don't want to be anywhere near your teeth because if I break something underneath here and we have permanent tooth damage, I'm gonna feel like a dick, okay? If I make it so that you have big old gap teeth because you're missing a bunch because I bashed my needle into them and chipped the bottom of it and rotted from the inside out, I'm gonna feel bad, you know? I think you'd feel bad too. And so I would never tattoo this, not even in a million years. Plus, I just don't wanna be up in your gums anyways. I'm not a dentist. I find most people to be repulsive when I look in their mouth, so no, I'm just kidding. I didn't become a dentist, I became a tattooer. I have nothing that I want to do in your mouth other than a few things. No, I'm just kidding. No, don't give me the option because I'll say no. But cool, I like it. Someone's got to do it. Made this person happy. Look at that smile. On to the next. This is a beautiful tattoo. Now that I'm looking at it, I feel like I've done this one before. I don't know. Jen Schnettler. Beautiful dragon tattoo. Just everything I want in my dragon tattoos. It's like, ooh, I'm a dragon. Very cool, beautiful work. I'm gonna keep it there because I think I've shown this one before and I don't wanna be redundant, so yeah. And this is where I will leave it. Nothing says I'm broke like dollar signs on your face. I don't know why people worship money this way. It's disgraceful and sad and a societal weirdness. I go, ew, that's gross. It's sad, it's sad. I mean, the eyebrows don't even get me started. This guy looks like he's straight out of a System of the Down musical. It's dumb. He looks awful. He should be smashing burgers with Guy Fieri. It's like if Guy Fieri and your awkward weirdo cousin had a baby, okay? If this guy walked up to you with a dollar sign in between his eyes, you know what you would think. You'd go, that guy has never seen a dollar bill in his life, okay? This guy ain't sitting with money, okay? This guy's doing the opposite. This is the guy who, when he hears me say this, he's gonna be like, I got more money than you, bro. Look at my bank account. And then you have to be like, bro, you're a joke. You're a loser. That's a dumb thing to put on your face. Not to mention, the eyebrow thing makes you look like Cruella de Vil. Just awful. I hope that you have a beautiful few days because I will see you in probably 2 or 3 of them, okay? If I don't see you in 2 or 3 days, it's because I've gone over the Rainbow Bridge, okay? But if not, I'll see you in 2 to 3 days.